the international community must understand that it is a mistake to think that terrorism deriving from states is limited only to Israel or only to India. No, that is not the case. Experience teaches us that what begins in the Middle East does not end in the Middle East, unfortunately. And anyone who maintains neutrality in the conflict between Israel and countries like Iran or India and countries that threatens India's safety, organizations like Hamas, Hezbollah, whoever is maintaining neutrality really lost their moral compass. So that is our experience, and we will continue to share it with India, and the international community must take part in this as well.
Hello, namaste, and welcome to Citti Media. My name is Citti, and I'll be your host. We are joined by Dahlia Neumann. She is the Deputy Consul General in the Consulate General of Israel, Mumbai. She has been posted in India, and this is her first overseas posting. And prior to being a diplomat, she has also been a media professional for many years. Dahlia, ma'am, thank you so much. Namaste, shalom, and welcome to Citti Media.
Thank you so much. Namaste. It's a pleasure to be with you.
It's a pleasure to have you here, and I hope you've been well. This is your first posting overseas, and you've been posted in India, that too in Mumbai. How does it feel?
It feels good. It was my request, actually. I wanted to be sent to India. I chose it amongst other options that I had. My feeling was that professionally, India is an important power in Asia and in the world in general. And I know we will probably speak about it later on, but its close relations with Israel is making the options so wide and vast. So this is a country that I was so interested on for many years. I haven't had the chance. It's my first time. And both personally and professionally, I was so happy to get this posting. And my family as well, by the way.
And if I may ask you personally, what do you find special about India?
I think the way people are open and the way they are open-minded, and there is an atmosphere of initiatives, entrepreneurships. Whenever I talk to people, they're enthusiastic. They want to do things. They want to do things together. They have great ideas, or they're open to other ideas, and they kind of know what they want and what they need, or what they can, how we can collaborate. So in that sense, it's really good to speak with people. You know, last week was International Girl Child Day, and we had the opportunity to host here a wonderful 12 years old girl. And so from a 12 years old like her to much older and more experienced people, I feel a vibe of open mind and curiosity and enthusiasm. And I think that's very similar to the Israeli state of mind as well.
Yes, they're absolutely spot on, and very kind of you to say so. And in fact, India and Israel has been connected not just in terms of its bilateral relations, but even as civilizational states. Now, we are here today to discuss a very important visit by India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S Jaishankar, and he's in Israel as we speak at this moment. Now, Dr. Jaishankar commented on the bilateral ties between India and Israel, and he called Israel as India's most trusted partner. What are your comments on this?
This is indeed a very exciting visit of Dr. Jaishankar to Israel. to mark the beginning of the 30th anniversary year of diplomatic relations. It's the whole visit has up to now already such great achievements. And I really feel that those relations that are close, and Israel and India are such great allies, those relations are coming closer and closer together. I'm sorry. I really feel that, as I think I said before, I really feel it's just a great time to be an Israeli diplomat in Israel. Already the news we have regarding the agreement, the trade agreement, the renewal of the talks about that, and hoping to finish that until November. And the mutual recognizing of the vaccines is so important, and other collaborations on water, on agriculture, on technology. So we watch that closely, the visit. We watch it closely from here, from Mumbai, and it's a lot of good news.
Right.
And yeah, we didn't have good news last 2 years in general, I mean globally. So that's so good to have them at last, and they just keep coming from Jerusalem.
Right.
And I'm sure you know we will feel that here in India in the next coming years. This kind of visits, this kind of good things that are happening during these visits, it will affect here for sure.
Right. Thank you so much for your points. And I absolutely agree with you. There is a very positive progression as far as India-Israel ties are concerned. Now, I was interested in another socio-cultural aspect that was put forth by Dr. Jaishankar. And, India is perhaps the only country in the world which has not registered a single case of anti-Semitism. And, there is a community called Bene Israelis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but there has been a historical connect with both the civilizations. Could you enlighten our viewers more about this?
Yes, the Jewish community in India is a very important one, a very old one. I was lucky to visit the old beautiful synagogue here in Mumbai. It's more than 100 years old, but the community itself goes far before that. And I totally agree with Dr. Jaishankar and the observation that these two ancient cultures, the Indian one and the Jewish one, are tied together so closely, and they are really important because they brought together our countries even before they were countries as such, independent state. The relations were there even before the diplomatic relations were there, and they go well and they thrive up to today. I just told you when we chatted for a few minutes before we started this interview that there is a famous Israeli singer. Her name is Liora Yitzhak, and she's originally from here, from India, and she uses this beautiful Indian influence in her musical and creative work. So maybe you will want some time to play some of her music to your viewers. So, but back to that remark, I couldn't agree more. And we as Israeli diplomats, it's our mission to be in close touch and relations with the Jewish communities in India. There are a few of them, and we are looking forward to the next Jewish holiday, and for sure we will celebrate together.
Right. That's really good to hear from you. And I was always curious, how do common Israelis perceive India and Indians to be?
Wow. Israelis love India and Indians. A lot of Israelis, as I told you, this was my first time in India when I got here in August.
Right.
But that is quite rare. Many Israelis love India so much, and they visit and they travel. And I'm sure many Indians have met those young tourists, and they come here to be inspired. They come here to be inspired by the beautiful scenery, by the beautiful people, by the culture. It's really, you know, from yoga to ancient mythology. It's really influential, and there are, I would say, probably I would say thousands of visitors a year, though it's probably more and maybe even much more. I'm on Facebook with some groups of Israelis, and those groups are called We Love India and such. And they are so looking forward to renewal of the visas on mid-November. They are so looking forward to come back. They miss the people, they miss the food and the chai, and they miss the tranquility that they find here.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing that. And during Dr. Jaishankar's visit, I think it was just a day or two ago, he unveiled a plaque at what is called the Bhudan grave. Can you tell our viewers more about this?
Well, this was a beautiful gesture. He visited.
I'm sorry, it's Bhudan Grove. I'm really sorry.
Yes. Yes, so he visited a forest in Jerusalem, accompanied with our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yair Lapid, and the seniors of of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And they went to this beautiful spot in Jerusalem mountains, and they revealed a small stone that had a writing that was there since the 60s, since the last visit to the same place itself. And the visit was made by another Indian official. I can't remember all of them. I'm sorry, I don't remember all the details right now, but it was some high-ranking Indians visitors who were there at the early 60s. So it really symbolizes the long relations, and he did a beautiful gesture. Dr. Jaishankar, he took two stones, two small rocks from the spot, and he said he will keep one in his house in Delhi, and the other one he will keep only until his next visit to Jerusalem. And when he will come, next time he will come, he will put it back in the forest. So how beautiful is that? I think it was really, I was moved by this.
Yes, it's indeed a very beautiful story. And let me come to another serious question. Apart from the pandemic, the world witnessed a major geopolitical development in Afghanistan, and the United States pulled out. And we are all aware that India and Israel are the two countries which has been aware of the perils of, should I say, cross-border terrorism. And how do we deal with certain countries like Pakistan, which continuously sponsor cross-border terrorism?
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with the analysis you made. Both India and Israel are facing the threat of terrorism that derives from other states. So it really is a state terrorism made by proxies,
Yes.
whether inside the country or at the borders. Whatever experience Israel has it shares and will continue to share with our allies, our partners on the Indian side, the military, intelligence, and so on, because we do face a similar situation, and Israel will continue to do that, and the international community must understand that it is a mistake to think that terrorism deriving from states is limited only to Israel or only to India. No, that is not the case. Experience teaches us that what begins in the Middle East does not end in the Middle East, unfortunately. And anyone who maintains neutrality in the conflict between Israel and countries like Iran or India and countries that threatens India's safety, organizations like Hamas, Hezbollah, whoever is maintaining neutrality really lost their moral compass. So that is our experience, and we will continue to share it with India, and the international community must take part in this as well.
Right. Thank you so much. And indeed, Israel has been a very important strategic friend or partner to India. And hopefully this bond will continue to grow over the years. And now I want to touch upon a topic that is very seldom discussed. Not a lot of people know about this, but during the Battle of Haifa, during World War I, India was involved because the then British Empire had soldiers from India participating in their wars. And this victory in the Battle of Haifa was very, very important, should I say, which eventually led to the creation of the modern state of Israel. And an Indian city of Mysore is involved, just a few kilometers from where I am. And I wanted to hear from you more about this.
You know, personally, I grew up in Haifa. My childhood was there. So it really is a beautiful place up at the mountains. And you think about those Indians fighting there, sacrificing, even giving their lives so far away from home. It really is sad. And I think it brings to mind the importance of a nation fighting for its sovereignty, fighting to become an independent democracy, as India and Israel has become and are still vibrant democracies ever since. So we have some memorials for this battle in Israel. We have a stamp issued by by both, actually. It was a collaboration between the post offices of India and Israel, initiative by my dear colleagues in the Delhi mission. And we just commemorated the Memorial Day for this battle 2 weeks ago. So I think really, and we light a candle here at the embassy, at the consulate by the Consul General. So I really think that the lesson is the importance of the fight for sovereignty and to keep for long thriving democracies, and how wonderful it is that these two democracies, with some similarities in their history, are such good, close allies today.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's indeed very important for not just Indians, but even Israelis for that matter, to know about what we have been through as not just nations, but even as civilizations. Now, keeping that in mind, Dr. Jaishankar is there for a few more days, and we'll be anticipating as to what will happen in Israel, and hopefully more and more productive meetings emerge from there. On that note, can I ask you to give your closing comments, ma'am?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. As you said, I just started about 2 months ago, so I'm quite new to this posting. So let me just share with you and your viewers how much I am looking forward to enjoy the fruits of this visit. Also enjoy the careful optimism we feel as for the pandemic being hopefully being under control, and hopefully this will continue. This will continue and will allow us to do all the things that we couldn't do, and to continue the collaborations on agriculture, on water, trade, economy, education. You know, here in Mumbai, we are in a way lucky to deal with culture, because this is such an important city for cultural life. So we're looking forward to renewal of all these festivals, to have Israelis artists perform, and to send Indian artists and students and business people to Israel. So I really am happy to share this just positive energy, and looking forward to doing some important things together and bringing these two countries even closer together on the evening of the 30th anniversary.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm really glad that you could take out some time for us. Namaste, as we say here. And I hope you have a very pleasant stay in India.
Up to now, it has been. I'm sure it will continue. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to speak with you. And thank you for having me and introducing me to your viewers. Shalom and toda.
Namaste. Thank you for joining us. And I hope you can again join us for a conversation.
Sure.
And to all our viewers, please do like, share, and subscribe to Citti Media. Until then, this is your host, Sharan Citti, signing off.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.